Good. Thank you for getting to understand me better, and you're going to understand everything by the time I'm fully disclosing everything. Let me tell you, difference between the North and the South. North, one time, completely relevant. It's not ulterior motives or endless maneuvers. I've never experienced anything like that. Out here, it's completely unrelated substance. When you ask one thing as an ulterior motive, there's something different. It isn't as intelligent, but we're all equal in intelligence. That's why this happened. When I keep mentioning psychological malpractice, you bet. You bet. Let me tell you about a little bit I found out about this area. First off, medical corruption is completely out of control. Completely, and it's incorporated as a norm too. Okay? Nobody listens. Completely unrelated. In the most unhealthy context, the most outrageous things, yes, yes. Very common. Criminal activity, even though there may be supposedly immunity. I do question that though. It is impossible to find any legal representation. It's completely corrupted. I'm taking this from someone who knows this very well. Okay? Pumping people up on just endless pharmaceutical reaction to one after another. Then I understand supposedly insurance companies, the federal money is just pouring in. Pharmaceutical companies. It's all based on that. The corruption is absolutely out of control. To get legal representation, you need to do it from outside Alabama. You need to get someone, and you need money. Okay? When it's discovered, it's a huge high-profile example. That's the truth. What I've been at since 2008. I didn't know it. I didn't know anything. This is as recent as this year, 2012. When you speak something, it always comes back to medical. Always. You can speak an unrelated subject that's the intended purpose. See, like the College Lake County, one time, and it comes back to medical. When I state psychological malpractice, I am willing to go fully public and everything taken in consideration to make sure the absolute truth comes out. Do you know the investment in me? That if I got back up north, it'd be very quick to incorporate back in the norm. If those resources were utilized correctly, I'd be up and down the Chicagoland North Shore creating success just like that. And I'm willing to take that risk. Okay. I have to keep these videos down to 15 minutes. This is extremely high profile. It really is, if you know everything behind it. Yes. There's no truth in any manner of anything when I came out here. There was ulterior motives. It is completely 100% corrupt. $200,000 wiped out. I didn't know anything about what really is truly a different incorporated norm. And I'm going to guarantee you I've stumbled upon something that's, I don't know whether or not there's immunity in a situation like this, but I'll guarantee you this is someone doing a documentary or writing a book. And the background I come from, over 40 years, and when I state it, it is not a psychological issue. When I say the Republicans and special interests can bring you down to the knees, all that 40 years of my history is gone. It's transformed to a completely different incorporated norm. I am being thoroughly honest. I've built on curiosity. I understand. I've learned it. I'm coming back and bringing it. I've validated this at the very highest level. Now there's some delegation that needs to be done to truly, really understand. Oh, I don't even question. When I state psychological malpractice, there's much more to this. I've done a complete investigation in completely irrelevant substance. This never should have happened. But see, that proves it. You cannot change the psychological makeup, what's true about my background for over 40 years. And because there's ulterior motives, it's completely unrelated substance. It has nothing to do with intended. Look at this. The United Way Helping Hand. I wouldn't even have to question it in Lake County. And then people with disabilities, U.S. Department of Labor, Education, Justice, all that was a general inquiry, and all I was seeking, exactly what the College of Lake County told me immediately. I don't know how much they spent on me, but I'll guarantee you it sure wasn't invested wisely. It was completely wasted. Almost all of that's medical. None of it is. And yet you take the same amount up north, consistent with my background, and I'm going to prove this. My perception is accurate. It's not a psychological issue. It has nothing to do with medical. And that's all it is. The medical corruption is, so it's obvious. I've been at it for 8 years, and it's just going to continue. All medical. It never was medical. I'm telling you, I have 15 minutes per video now. So I'm going to get up to present day, but I've got some important things. Okay, now you know I've been at it out here, and I really have been at it since 2004. It should have, boom! In Lake County, it would have been that. I've been at this, and this is completely, it's medical, when it's not medical in any manner. And that can go on for an entire person's lifetime from that point forward. You got an idea how corrupt it is. To prove it, though, I probably have a very good chance. I don't know about the immunity, whether or not, but I can guarantee you this is at the very highest level, and some aspects would have to be delegated considerably further. That human studies professor from the university, completely irrelevant. That is absolutely complete corruption. I never did commit a disorder, or do they create it at the most. Let me continue on. I'm going to start off, I don't have the exact dates, and I'm trying to put a lot of substance into a rough draft. Believe me, I've never deviated. I'm fully aware of what I've learned about my makeup at the highest level. I'm going to start off on 2008, late 2008, and see how much more time I've got here. Okay, good. I'm getting very straightforward and clear to that point. Regardless of, those areas where I'm going kind of, where it's hard to understand me, there is further clarification to it, believe me. I mean, for me, that kind of reaction that you saw on me is very much an incorporated norm out here in earlier videos. So here I am all confused, stuff like that. That's the way it works down here. The maneuvers that are unrelated, the boundary violations are... I understand it's all pharmaceutical companies. It's medical corruption. You wouldn't believe it. But you're going to believe it all right by the time I'm done with this review here. And you're going to know everything about me. Everything. So, let's continue. Okay? I'm going to keep these 15-minute videos, and I know exactly what I need to do here. And I want to make sure absolutely the truth is going to come out. It won't down here. No way. Impossible for the truth to come out down here. Let me show you something. Here we go. Okay, Grays Lake School District. Title. Good. I was able to dig this up. Yep. And that's everything right there. I'm glad I retained these original records. Now, to prove psychological malpractice, you don't know anything about the basis. You're getting bits and pieces, and you're seeing which you're still not able to figure out what I'm talking about. I guarantee you, it is at the very highest level, and I'm sure there's delegation and legal. It's extremely high profile. It has to be someone from outside Alabama. You will not find legal representation. It is absolutely it's clients, conflicts of interest. I understand whether or not this immunity is going to get waived or not. I guarantee you that the investment in me is worth every single penny of it. I could be incorporated with what's true for over 40 years of my life. Boom! How much is it going to cost? Obviously, I'm going to need some shelter. Obviously, I have a truck. The amount of damage I've suffered, I've heard about medical malpractice and this kind of stuff. It wouldn't take much. If that's channeled correctly, consistent with my 40 years, I'll transform right into what's been consistent with my past. Guaranteed, I'm worth every single bit of that investment. None of this is medical. Let me just mention this. Am I confused? Okay, am I confused? Do I have a psychological issue? Am I the one who did this to myself? Or in reality, have I been seriously injured and yet I'm still a very healthy individual? I can guarantee you, I understand, I'm very healthy. No, I did not injure myself. I'm sure every bit of this will be ran by, all aspects considered, to get this truth out. I've been injured. I didn't know it. I had to learn it and experience it first. Did I injure myself? By coming down here. But the irrelevant substance is not me. That's an incorporated norm. And I am being honest. I'm teaching you something that you wouldn't believe. And yet I've been through the whole thing. It still always comes back to medical corruption. It is completely corrupt. As I mentioned, irrelevant substance becomes a predominant factor. That can go on for an entire person's lifetime. And I'm going to make one decision now. And I know it's right. I'm willing to take the risk. If I get led in to continuing, it's been 8 years and $200,000 when absolutely not one bit of this should happen. And I guarantee you, it is psychological malpractice when you understand all the aspects. As I mentioned, I'm being very clear. One phone call to the College Lake County to validate my perception and experience is correctly perceived. I was never seeking any of that. It still comes out to be medical corruption was the goal. I'll guarantee you the psychological malpractice at the highest level, though, I can absolutely prove that. There's absolutely no truth to that human studies professor whatsoever. That is all medical, and it is hard to prove. And at this rate, I can say I can prove it. And it is so high of a level that I do not have all the answers. It's up there, I can tell you, with the Senate and President Bush. I do not understand lobbyists or special interests, but I can say this much. Let's get on. I'm going to let you know everything about me, okay? There's a lot you don't know. Now, what I haven't clarified, believe me, it's not psychological, I promise you. I'm doing this as a rough draft. There's a lot of substance I'm covering here, and it's hard to clarify everything. I know there's certain aspects that I come across, confused. No, absolutely not. There are areas I can't believe is an incorporated norm. It's my reaction to what's been true for over 40 years, and that's not confusion. I had to learn it and experience it. Okay, let's get on here. I'm going to share, to do this, very high profile. I guarantee you, every single penny of that investment. It's worth every penny of it. But let me... Okay, I'm at 15 minutes on this video. So let's get on with the next one. I'm going to start off about 2008 right now, and I'm going to keep it chronological. Yes, at this point, the psychological malpractice has already been started to occur. It was occurring from the very start, but now I'm starting to learn about things that I would never believe. I certainly understand it now. It is absolutely psychological. It doesn't involve any, it's at the highest level, right up by the governor of the state. I do not believe there's immunity. This is just too... I've gained so much information, of insider information, because my verbal communication skills, the subliminal, there's a lot of hidden blind areas that I was able... I couldn't believe it. But it's all related to one thing: medical corruption, and the other is absolutely performance, no matter what it takes, no matter how serious the criminal act, they will create it. The disorders are created. Try to prove that one. 40 years of my history. Guarantee you. Let me keep sharing with you. Now, at this point, I'm really going to let you know everything about me. And then it's, as we go day by day, just wait until the decision I'm going to have to make in absolute survival to get myself out of this situation. I'm very adaptable. I've thought this out very carefully. It's not a psychological... You'll know the basis. You'll know exactly what the basis is, and I will cooperate with anyone. Everything taken in consideration for the truth to come out. I promise you, I will always be honest. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for getting to know me a lot better. Let's get started here now with 2008. Good.